Jian Shui and Ba Seng went to the races, and by some astounding chance, won 5,000 rupees. About 2/3 of this belonged to Jian Shui. They were rendered almost delirious by their good fortune, and were ready to listen to any scheme for burning money. They fell in with a Burman who wanted to sell a motor bicycle and sidecar, and demanded a trial run along the Prome Road. 6 miles out, the back tyre was ripped off, and the inner tube split in half. The owner of the bicycle had no spare tube. Jian Shui and Ba Seng had never meant to buy the machine, and they hailed a taxi that was passing and went back to Rangoon. The owner of the bicycle was left on the road, almost weeping his loss and disappointment. The 2 millionaires had no pity for him. They struck up a friendship with the driver of the taxi, and he took them to a Chinese eating shop where they all had dinner. Then, to begin the evening, Jian Shui led the way to a restaurant patronized mostly by Europeans, and going in, called for beer. The proprietor, the European guests, and the bar boys all looked askance. 2 burgers. They could do nothing. Jian Shui was defiant in manner, but Ba Seng was rather timid, until after the second beer. After their second beer, Jian Shui called for brandy cocktails, and they drank 2 each. Ba Seng then bought a tin of cigarettes and began to offer them to all the men in the bar. The white men all refused, rather offensive, except for a young boy just out from home who was too bashful to not accept. Jian Shui clapped him on the shoulder and said he was a jolly good fellow. Then he suddenly began to sing, for he's a jolly good fellow. The boy blushed and looked acutely miserable, and a young man with fair hair walked across to Jian Shui and said, "You'd better clear out of here, or I'll put you out myself." "Who the hell are you?" cried Jian Shui. The man with fair hair caught him by the shoulder and began to push him to the door. Jian Shui broke loose and would have struck him. The other white men intervened, and the 2 Burmans were ejected. Then they got into their taxi again and went off to a low dive where they drank beehive brandy. After an hour of this, they asked the taxi driver to show them the way to some women. He replied that it was late at night, but we would do his best. The car moved eastwards, through now quiet streets, and finally halted in a little evil-smelling alley full of shuttered houses, dimly lighted within. The taxi driver went up to one of the houses, knocked on the door, and began to call out, "Go pa! Go pa! Hey! Go pa!" After 2 or 3 minutes, as there was no response, he knocked with all his might, at which a dog began an angry yelping, and a woman's voice from within suddenly screamed out, as though in terror, "Who's that?" The taxi driver said something in a reassuring tone. After somebody had looked out of an upper window, the door opened, and an enormously fat man came out, carrying a lantern in his hand. The lantern showed a bedraggled dead rat lying on the doorstep, and shone dimly upon the man's huge belly, where he was half naked, and his great pock-marked face. He was scratching his side with his free hand, and though apparently half asleep, was chewing betel. His front teeth were mostly gold, and thus, with the betel juice, gleamed an unearthly red in the mouth. After a few words with the taxi driver, he called to somebody within, and then sat on his heels, giving many noisy yawns. Presently, an old woman appeared, and then a thin boy, blind in one eye, but with a sweet, childlike face. The boy was sent off somewhere on a bicycle, and the others sat down to wait. The stench of the dead rat seemed to grow stronger each minute, and the cur never ceased to yelp and snarl. Jian Shui, Ba Seng, the driver, and the boards were all half dead with sleep. In about 20 minutes, a young woman in a blue longi came down the road, rubbing the sleet out of her eyes and grumbling at the lateness of the hour. The one-eyed boy explained that this was the only girl he could get. The others, he said, had all gone out somewhere. Jian Shui now became a little more alert and began to ask who lived in all the houses round about. It appeared they were mostly prostitutes. Who lives in that house? He asked, pointing at the little house to the left, way down the road, which, though shuttered up, appeared to be brightly lighted within. Ah, there is nothing doing there. That's the second wife of a diamond merchant from Murnai, a very rich man. Well, so am I. I'm going into that house. There is nothing doing, I tell you. But Jian Shui was in a perverse and drunken mood. Drive the car down opposite the house, he said. I'm going to have a look inside. Ah, Malay, he is mad, protested the driver. Go on, drive it down. What are you afraid of? The driver obeyed, though he was now growing a little sulky. The fare had run up to more than 60 rupees, and he was not quite certain of getting it. When they were opposite the house, Jian Shui climbed onto the top of the car and leaned against the window shutters at the top of which was a broad crack of light. Here for a moment, he swayed drunkenly, and his head rolled heavily upon his breast. But he recovered himself and stared into the room. It was much like many other Burmese rooms in Rangoon. The floor was covered with mats, but there was little European furniture, namely 2 or 3 straight-backed chairs and a round table, all covered with cloths of Burmese lacework. There was a bowl of roses on the table, a grandfather clock, not glowing, and shrine, also covered with lace, with 3 candles burning. Framed advertisements for Japanese beer hung on the walls, and a petrol lamp on the ceiling. What Jian Shui looked at, however, was a girl sitting on the mats, smoking a cigarette. She was wearing a longy, pale blue flowered Chinese satin, and had many gold ornaments on her wrists and about her neck. She was possibly 19 years old, had an oval face of fair complexion, very elegant, calm, and with a hard, mercenary expression. She looked rather like an evil-minded dog. Jian Shui was in a strange mood, between drunkenness and sleep, so that lust moved him with a peculiar, heavy power. At this moment, the girl seemed to him the most desirable in the world. Her cold face, rich clothes, seemed to double her value. Determined, by hook or by crook, the girl must be his. But for him to lose her would be simply an absurd injustice. He felt he had a first call upon all living women, and that any woman must submit to him if he would only exert his power. So he began to scheme how he should enter the house. When that was done, the battle was over. But at this moment, a door in the room opened, and Jian Shui saw his rival face to face. An old man with a sad and noble face, grey hair, gallantly knotted. He took the cigarette from the girl's mouth and sat down beside her. I hasten by some charity, for lack and fight for shame. Old men will do it. Jian Shui swayed on the car and almost fell. The diamond merchant, all mine, was his venerable father.